Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review, and this one is special because I had just passed 15,000 subscribers here on YouTube, so thank you everyone so much, and it's fitting that as my first video after passing such a big milestone that it would be an actual MCU figure, maybe not a Marvel Legends, which is what I mostly collect and review. It is the Mezco 112 Collective Punisher as seen on the Netflix series. I am very excited about this one because there are only so many more MCU figures that we are going to get from Mezco. We have the upcoming Hela, Captain Marvel, and the upgraded suit Spider-Man from Far From Home. This is the last one from the Netflix series, which is the third one. We got the Vigilante Edition Daredevil, the red and black suit Daredevil, and now we have the Punisher. Even though this figure is super late after the series has already even been canceled, it's too bad, but I am excited to get this one because I think this figure looks amazing. The head sculpt is unbelievably good, and I will be comparing him to the Marvel Legends version, which I actually have not seen on some of the video reviews that I've seen on this guy. I will do a comparison with the Legends, so you guys know. But anyway, the box art looking really cool. We have the Skull Punisher logo there, of course. Here on the side, we get the TV series logo that just says the Punisher. Here on the back of the package, we get a look at the figure as well as all the accessories and a couple of promo shots of the figure itself. But anyway, we'll get right to it. If you're not familiar with the Mezco Toyz figures, the box has a slip cover so you can just lift up on it, or not so easily lift up on it. But you have the figure displayed in a window box like so, with all the accessories showing. You can see the stand in the background, so pretty cool. So I'm going to take it out of this box and I'm going to show you the accessories that he comes with while it's still in package, because it's a little bit easier that way. So stay tuned, let's get right to it right now. Okay, so we have one additional interchangeable head, which is kind of like the bloody version, so he's kind of the battle damage after he's been in a fight, because he gets roughed up both in Daredevil Season 2 and the Punisher Season 1 and Season 2. We have this cool machine gun here. We get the ammo there. We get these cool flame bullet effects right there. We have total of 3 additional interchangeable hands for a total of 4 different sets of hands. We get a knife, a gun, another gun, and then we get an ammo clip to go with that gun. Figures there, that right there in the back is the stand, so really cool. Now let's get this bad boy out of the package. And his trench coat is in the bottom section after you pull this out, which also contains the other pieces to the stand and the accessory bag. So there is his trench coat. Okay, so I'm going to do things a little bit differently and start off with the comparison between the Mezco Toyz and the Marvel Legends version. The reason why for this is because this figure out of package is pretty stiff. So before I continue on with this review, I am going to have to give them a little bit of hot water treatment. And the way to do that with these figures is you put them in a little sandwich bag, a Ziploc bag of some kind, and keep that running either under hot warm water, or fill up a cup with the warm water and then put that in the cup, or however you want to do it. But that's the best way to do it, because those elbows, I'm scared I'm going to snap them, and I've seen too many issues with people snapping Mezco joints. So I am going to give them the hot water treatment, but we can do the side-by-side comparison between the two Punishers, and there they are. This figure, this John Bernthal head sculpt is so much better than this one. Not saying this one's terrible, but next to this one, it's terrible. But it is still very good, you know, for a $20 figure versus an $80 figure. But pretty awesome side by side. The Mezco one is the clear winner because it is awesome. But for 20 bucks, you could not go wrong with this Marvel Legends version. See if we can get closer in to look at those skulls and closer in to look at those head sculpts. Okay, so here are the close-ups of the different head sculpts and the different skulls. So I had to really darken the lighting to really show you the really how that head sculpt looks. He's actually pretty pale, so under bright light he looks even more pale. So I had to kind of darken it up so you could really see, and you could see, man, that looks just like John Bernthal. Mezco did a great job. And then here on the Hasbro one, you could see that the for whatever reason, he's just very shiny. His face is shiny. But it's good. He has a little bit of the longer hair versus the shorter hair. It's a good looking figure, but it doesn't compare to the Mezco. But when you have a figure that's 4 times as much, that really should be the case. Looking at the skulls, this one has a much more cleaner look, whereas this one has more of that sloppy spray painted look, because it looks like it's streaked and stuff, whereas this one, it doesn't. So I would say this one would be more accurate, but that one looks way better. So it just kind of depends on your preference between the two, but there they are. Okay, so I'm going to go over the articulation. Now, he's going to be very limited due to this vest. Now, the vest is removable, and I'm going to try to get to that here pretty soon, but I'm going to show you the articulation with the vest on, because I think that's how most people are probably going to be displaying this figure. So again, I did the hot water treatment, or the warm water treatment, to get that elbow to bend, and you only get a single bend, which is at a solid 90 degree. So you have that there. Shoulder goes up that high, which works out pretty well, and because of the clothing, you're not going to get a full rotation, but you could if you wanted to. There is no bicep swivel or anything like that, but there is a swivel actually at the elbow. The head is a solid head neck piece, so it's not separate pieces like we see on some Mezco figures. So motion, you're only going to get that much going down and that much going up, which is not a lot at all. And then you can of course get a full swivel in there. You're not going to get any use of the ab whatsoever with this vest on. Legs can kick out that far forward, so that is pretty good motion there. Going back, it actually can go back, whereas most figures really you can't. Legs are going to go out about that far apart, so not a huge amount, and that's just because gun holster kind of gets in the way there, so you can work it a little bit more. There is a swivel up at the top of that hip joint there. You get a double jointed knee, which works out really, really well. Foot hinges down a little bit, hinges up a little bit, and then there is an ankle pivot in there. So not a huge amount of motion in there, especially with the vest really hindering a lot of that articulation. But let's take a closer look at this guy. Okay, so for this portion, I really brightened it up, so that's why he looks super pale, super bright, because I want you to be able to see the details in that vest and how awesome that looks. Take a look at all that detail in there, and it's actually nice that these sections here you can see some texturing, but you also got some brown paint in there along with the silver for the buttons and things like that. So a couple of different spots you'll see that. So that is really nice that we don't get just an all black. There's a little bit of that brown in there as well, and then you can actually see that that knife will actually sheath in right there on the back of that belt. So that is really cool, but the details of this are just outstanding. I really, really like the way that looks. That looks great. In the back of the vest, it actually looks like it's padded. So the sculpt of it is just so damn nice. There are his pants. And the pants look good. They don't look too baggy. They look very tactical. So I like the way that look. And you see all the sewn on pockets and things like that. Got the knee pads. And you got the boots there. So again, man, this vest just looks amazing. I really like the way that looks. It looks great. And then the John Brenthal head sculpt, even under bright light, you could see that, man, that really does look like him. Looks really good. Okay, so he does come with an additional interchangeable head, so to pop that off, we're just going to pull up there. And again, the neck and head is all one piece, whereas on some older Mezco figures, that was not the case. The neck and the head were actually two separate pieces. And then here we're going to put the new one on, and we're really just going to kind of force it on there. It didn't go on as nice as the other one did. But there, and the neck looks too long because the shirt's kind of catching in there, and I'm not sure. Maybe if I move the neck peg back and then try and do it there, then we get the neck actually going into the shirt a little bit more. And then there's the battle damage look, and that looks great. You could see kind of the cuts and scrapes and the blood that's in there. This cut, it's going to be hard for me to get in to really see the detail of it, but you could actually see the cut is sculpted in there, and it's a little bit darker right where the line of the cut would be. So that just looks really good, because we know that he gets roughed up pretty bad in both seasons and in Daredevil season 2. So yeah, that looks really good. I like that a lot. Okay, to show you guys how to remove the vest, you can see that there's little pegs right there, so you can actually just pop those apart there, and then you can actually work the vest off. So you want to be careful. You know, so pop the head off to make it a little bit easier, so you can just kind of work it around that neck and everything like so. So the belt is still there. The shirt is actually sewn onto the pants, but the belt is floating there. And you can see you could just have Punisher with a shirt on. So looking at the motion of it, let's see. It's a diaphragm joint, so not really an ab crunch in there. You're not getting, even still with that, I'm not getting a whole lot of range of motion in there. I'm getting a little bit of pivot to the side, a little bit to the other side, but I'm not getting any motion going forward. So even with the vest, you're not getting a whole lot back. It only goes that much. One thing that I find very odd is when you roll up the sleeves, because you know in some scenes he kind of has his sleeves up, that skin tone for his arm is very different and looks very cheap. Reminds me of like Ken doll plastic looking Barbie doll kind of thing. I don't know why it's like that. You'd think they would have matched up the skin tones, but it's very different. Okay, so now we're going to put on his jacket, and there's some wire in here along the buttons of the jacket, and then around the collar there is as well, so that's pretty cool. But we're going to get this jacket onto him, see how difficult it is. It shouldn't be too hard. It's a nice pleathery material, real soft. Oops, I want to work the arm in there, and then you can get the jacket on like so. You know, and I probably should have taken the hands off first. So yeah, don't do what I did. Take the hands off and then put the jacket on. Okay, so that's much better. So I took the hands off, took the jacket off, took the hands off, put the jacket back on, and then put the hands on, and that works out a lot better. Now the collar looks weird because it's all the way up, but again, it's got a wire in it, so you can really kind of work it down and get that collar to look good. Otherwise, the collar would look very funky. And there is Punisher with the jacket, and I think that looks really good. I actually prefer it without the jacket, though. But you can kind of work it and get that jacket to do some waves in it since it's got a nice wire in there. So that's how he looks. But I'm actually going to display it without the jacket. I'm going to take it off. I just wanted to show you guys how to put it on. Okay, now let's take a better look at the accessory. So I brightened this up a whole lot so you can be able to see all the details. But here is this machine gun, and this looks great. It's done in a black plastic with a little bit of silver airbrushing kind of throughout to give it that grill metal kind of look and worn down look in some of the areas. And this thing looks great. But there's a lot of thin plastic, so I'm very nervous about it. But really nice. Like even these right here, you kind of have a shiny black because it's kind of wiring and stuff. But yeah, that looks awesome. Look at the cannon there. Very cool. I mean the barrel, cannon, whatever. Here is the ammo for it. It'll zoom in, and I think that's painted quite nicely to really give it that ammo bullet look to it. That looks good. We'll figure out how to attach it to this because I don't yet know. I think it just kind of clips in and rests there like so. That's really cool. Here we have the pistol, and it looks like there's already an ammo clip inside, so we get two clips, an extra clip, so that's pretty cool. And you can see the bullet painted on in there at the top of the clip, so that is really cool. So I thought maybe this was just the clip because it wasn't in there, but there's actually two clips, so pretty cool. Nice detail to the gun and the sculpt. We get silver paint added there for the trigger, and then whatever the pull handle is, I don't know what that is. You guys let me know down in the comments below. And then the barrel, the handle is that beige paint to it. We get this knife. It's just a black knife, and the handle is painted with some brown. And then the really cool thing about this is you can actually sheath it here in the back of the figure, like so, and that is pretty cool. Actually, with the gun too, you know, we might as well holster the pistol that he comes with. So here, you want to undo that clip so it really does hold in place, and you can actually just holster the gun like so, and then clip it back on to secure it. So that is pretty cool, and that's all he's got for as far as the storage for the accessories that he comes with. So there's no storage for the extra clip or for the revolver gun that he has here, and that's just done in nice black color with a brown like wooden handle type of thing. And then the barrel, I've seen reviews, this actually does turn. Not as easy as I thought, but that does turn in there. Hard to catch that with my fingers trying to move it and do it at the same time, and I can't really capture it, but it does spin in there, so that's pretty cool. Then here we have those bullet firing effects, so silver tips for the bullets, and then you have these flame effects, and then it'll actually clip on into the barrel of any gun, so you can actually, ooh, I bent it. Don't do what I did, be careful, so you can have it kind of, you know, how he's, depending on how he's shooting, so you could do it like this way, you know, if he's running or however showing that, you know, the bullets are firing. So it has that nice effect to it. So there's that one here. And then we get this second one here, which is of the single bullet. So silver at the end there. And again, that'll go into any of these weapons that he comes with. So you can actually do that, or however you're going to want it to look. So you can really get some awesome photography with there. Again, these pieces are these pegs are very small, so be very careful. Don't do what I'm doing. So it can peg in there with the gun to show you're shooting it. So that's really cool. Okay, to switch out the hands, you just very easily, you could pop these off, and you can see that they have a small peg there. These are all very small pieces, so be very careful when putting them on there. So out of the package, he has 2 fists, and then he also comes with these open hands that look like so. Then he also comes with the trigger pulling hands, trigger finger hands, like so. Whoops. Didn't secure that one all the way on there, so again, be very careful with that ball peg joint there. And again, like with the gun, you could place that in there and his finger goes right into the trigger. So that is pretty cool, like so. And then the additional hand that he comes with is a open holding hand. So like with this hand, you can use that to hold like the knife or something. And that knife is actually pretty sharp and pointy. It's plastic, but it's still pretty pointy. And then he can hold the knife like so, or depending on how you want it configured, like so. So pretty easy, just be careful. And of course, because I got this wrong, this machine gun is actually, I've been showing it off really upside down, and I had to adjust the ammo there. And you can hold it in place. So you would just kind of use the holding hand here, the trigger hand here, and you can hold that in place. And then you have the bullet effects, and then this barrel actually does really spin. So that is pretty cool. So I like the way that looks. Okay, and last but not least, here we have the Punisher figure next to the 2 Daredevil releases by Mezco Toyz 112 Collective. And you can see the big thing with this one, the Vigilante Edition, his pants were just very baggy, so the tailoring of it wasn't so good. It probably should have tucked the pants into the boots like they did with Punisher. Daredevil, the tailoring just wasn't so great on this one. So the Punisher figure is the best out of the 3 out of the Netflix ones. My favorite MCU Mezco 112 is, I would still say, the Thor figure, followed by the homemade suit Spider-Man figure. And then Hulk is really nice. Black Panther's pretty good. So they're all good, and I would say worth the money. If you can get a deal on one, definitely go for it. But this Punisher is great, and Mezco loves their Punisher figures. So I don't have any of the comic ones because I don't collect those, but they are all fantastic figures. But this one I really do love, and I think Mezco really knocked it out of the park. So you guys let me know down in the comments below. Are you going to be picking this up? Or are you holding off? What do you think of this compared to the other Mezco Punisher figures that you might have in your collection? Are you going to jump into the movie side of things and get this one too? I'm curious. Let me know down in the comments below. Hit that thumbs up button if you guys liked the video. Hit that notification bell so you can get a notification for when all the new videos come up. And as always, guys, thank you for watching.